everyone, welcome back to GK Today. I am Magh and in this video we'll cover the current affairs. Before we move ahead, let me inform you that these questions are part of our daily 20 MCQ series 2022 in the GK Today's Android application. So if you are looking for the text version of these questions and their explanations along with the interactive quiz, you may consider joining our daily 20 MCQ series in the GK Today Android application. In this course in app, you get daily 20 MCQs, a fortnightly quiz, a monthly revision document, and also category-wise revision e-books that are optimized for reading on mobile. You are also able to access all archives of questions from January 2020 onwards. And let me tell you one more thing. If you want the Hindi version of this session, you can refer to our former channel named as GK Today. The link has been given in the description box from where you can reach to. So without taking much of your time, let's get started. Good morning everyone. Welcome back to GK Today. And today we'll be discussing most important MCQs for 20th of January 2022. Starting with very first question. Which Indian state constituted the Justice Hema Commission? So actually in the year 2017, the Kerala government formed a 3-member commission which was headed by Justice K. Hema, former bureaucrat K.B. Valsala Kumari and veteran actress Sharda as the members. And the commission was formed to scrutinize the problems faced by women in the Malayalam film industry. Okay, so the government in Kerala recently formed a 3-member panel to study and work out a plan to implement the recommendations of the Justice Hema Commission report. That's why it was in news. Okay. Now, a few days back, we have seen that the Supreme Court has appointed an inquiry committee under its former Judge Justice Indu Malhotra to probe the security breach during Prime Minister Modi's visit to Punjab for security breach and suggest various measures that are necessary for the security of the Prime Minister and constitutional functionaries. Now talking about Kerala, it was in news for two things. First is the Kumbalangi village from Kerala became the first ever sanitary napkin free village in the country. So it is located in the Ernakulam district of Kerala, and it became possible because of a campaign under which menstrual cups are distributed to the women who are aged 18 and above. Okay? Also do remember that this village holds the title of India's first model tourist village. Now second thing about Kerala is the Kollam district of Kerala was also in news because a special campaign was launched here named as The Citizen. So under this, people would be educated on the basic principles of the Indian Constitution, and aim of this initiative is to declare Kollam as a totally constitution literate district by 14th of August midnight. Okay. Now can you tell me, in COP26 summit, all the world leaders promised to end and reverse deforestation by which year? Please write your answers in the comment section. Question number 2. Magh Mela-2022 is an annual religious fair held in which state? So the 47-day annual religious fair Magh Mela has been inaugurated with thousands of pilgrims taking holy dip on the banks of Sangam, where? In Prayagraj, Uttar Pradesh. So Sangam is a sacred confluence of 3 rivers basically, which are these: Ganga, Yamuna and the mythical Saraswati. And the fair is usually held to mark the occasion of Makar Sankranti. Okay. Now a few days back we have talked about another Mela named as Ganga Sagar. This is a popular religious event held in the state of West Bengal. So every year on Makar Sankranti in the month of January, pilgrims visit the Ganga Sagar village for a dip at the union of the Ganga and the Bay of Bengal. Okay. So only thing you have to remember is the Ganga Sagar Mela is organized in West Bengal. Now Uttar Pradesh was also in news because India's first mobile honey processing van was launched at village Sirora in Ghaziabad, Uttar Pradesh, and it was inaugurated by the chairman of KBIC. Who is it? Vinay Kumar Saxena. So it can process up to 300 kg of honey in 8 hours, and also it comprises of a testing laboratory which would examine the quality of honey. Okay. Then UP was also in news because the UP government has declared 4 villages which are located near the Nepal border in the district as revenue villages. Can you name them? We have already covered all these news in detailed manner earlier. Now, apart from all these things, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has recently inaugurated the 25th National Youth Festival in Puducherry via video conferencing. Now you have to tell me, when do we observe the Youth Day? Question number 3. Which technology platform launched the Jagrukvoter campaign? So microblogging platform Twitter has launched the Jagrukvoter campaign, which aims to empower the citizens with right knowledge before they vote. And the series of the initiatives aim to enhance engagement of the platform with voters, and it includes the launch of a customized emoji with notification and reminder to support the conversation around hashtag Assembly Elections 2022. Okay. Now, apart from it, the Fair Trade Regulator, the Competition Commission of India, has ordered a probe against Google for its alleged abuse of dominant position, and as per the Commission, Google has violated the provisions of Section 4 of the Competition Act 2002, which pertains to abuse of dominant position. Okay. Also, the Competition Commission of India has suspended its over 2-year-old approval for Amazon's deal to acquire stake in retailer Future Coupons Private Limited. So CCI imposed a 202 crore rupees penalty on Amazon for hiding facts and making false statements as well. Now also we have seen that the Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs has approved the second phase of Green Energy Corridor scheme, under which over 200 gigawatt of renewable projects will be installed across 7 states. And which are these 7 states? Rajasthan, Gujarat, Himachal Pradesh, Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Uttar Pradesh. So the estimated cost of this scheme is nearly 12,031 crore rupees, and 33% of the project cost will be provided as central financial assistance. Okay. Now you have to tell me, who has been declared as the ICC Player of the Month for the month of December 2021. Question number 4. ALH 84001 meteorite, which was making news, landed on the Earth from which planet? So this meteorite landed on the Earth from Mars in the year 1984, and for more than 4 decades scientists have debated if the organic compounds found on the surface of the meteorite were the proof of ancient life on Mars. So now a new study offers an explanation for the existence of these organic compounds, and also it established that the compounds were left by some form of life that existed on the Mars billions of years ago. Okay, so only thing you have to remember is this meteorite belonged to the planet Mars. Now apart from it, astronomers have detected the warped shape of one of the exoplanets, also called as hot Jupiters. So this is not like the usual spherical planets, as they are similar to a rugby ball, and the exoplanet is called WASP 103b because it orbits a star named as WASP 103 over 1800 light years away. So it was observed using a Cheops Space Telescope, and they orbit very closely to their host stars with orbital periods of less than 10 days, and this is the reason of the hot structure. So only thing you have to remember is this exoplanet, which was recently discovered, is also known as hot Jupiters. Now apart from it, NASA has recently launched its new laser communication relay demonstration from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida, and this is the first ever laser communication system of NASA, and it will help NASA in testing the optical communication in space. Also recently, NASA has released noises captured near the Jupiter's moon Ganymede, which is also the largest moon in our solar system. Actually, Ganymede has also its magnetic fields, which is not present in other moon of the solar system, and NASA launched the Juno spacecraft, which captured the Ganymede's electromagnetic waves as well. Okay. Question number 5. India recently undertook a maritime partnership exercise in the Bay of Bengal with which country? So Indian naval ships Shivalik and Kadmat undertook the Maritime Partnership Exercise with Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force, ships named as Uraga and Hirado in the Bay of Bengal. So the Maritime Partnership Exercise included several maritime operations including the flying operations and tactical maneuvers. So it aims to further strengthen the wide-ranging strategic partnerships between the navies. Okay, so correct answer is Japan. Now talking about Japan, let's see a few things why it was in news. So a few days back, Japan has launched an advanced commercial communication satellite named as Inmarsat 6F1 aboard H2A rocket. So it is a kind of 5,470 kg satellite, and it is one of the largest and most sophisticated commercial communication satellites ever launched. Then also recently, Japan cabinet has approved a record high defense budget of 5.4 trillion yen, that is nearly $47.2 billion for the next financial year, which is more than a ceiling of 1% of its GDP. Then Japan was also in news because of Senkaku Island. So it is an inhabited island chain in the East China Sea that has been administered by Japan for several decades, and basically China and Japan are claiming the island. So senior defense officials from Japan and China held their first high-level dialogue and agreed to establish a hotline in order to avoid the physical conflict. And China actually calls this island group as DIU and says it has a historical claim. Okay. Question number 6. Which is the first Indian scheduled commercial bank to issue public Formosa USD bonds? So State Bank of India has raised $300 million bond through Formosa bonds for 5 years. And it is the first Indian scheduled commercial bank to issue public Formosa bonds, and the bonds have been benchmarked against 5-year US Treasury notes, and the lender has completed its issuance through its London branch. Now talking about SBI, EcoRap is the report released by SBI, and as per the latest edition report, India's real GDP is expected to grow at 9.5% in 2020-21. Then apart from it, National Payment Corporation of India has introduced limits for cash withdrawal and mini statements. So it states that the maximum limit is 5 for Aadhaar enabled cash withdrawal transactions per customer, per terminal, per day. Also there will be a limit of minimum 5 mini statement transactions per customer per month, and it has been implemented now from 15th of January 2022. Now a few days back we have seen that the Equitas Small Finance Bank has been impaneled as the banking partner of the state government of Maharashtra with an aim to offer its services to employees of the state government. Then also we have seen that a penalty of 1.8 crore rupees has been imposed on PNB by RBI because it was found guilty of contravening the provisions of Banking Regulations Act of 1949 related to the pledges of shares by it. Also do remember that ICICI Bank has been fined with 30 lakh rupees by RBI for deficiencies in regulatory compliances. Then apart from all these things, RBI has introduced a PCA framework for large non-banking financial companies with effect from October 2022. So this move will bring the NBFCs almost on a par with banks in terms of supervision and regulatory reach. Okay. Question number 7. India recently granted $900 million loan to which country to tackle forex crisis? So India has announced this much amount of loan to Sri Lanka to build up its depleted foreign reserves and for food imports. So Sri Lanka is also negotiating a $1 billion USD loan from India to import goods from the country. And there has been a shortage of almost all essential commodities in the island nation due to a shortage of dollars to pay for the imports. Now apart from it, the Mulla Periyar Dam is located on the Periyar River in the state of Kerala near the border of Tamil Nadu. So Colonel John Pennyquick was a British engineer who built this dam in 1895 in Kerala's Idukki, which provides water to 5 districts of Tamil Nadu. So why it is in news? Because the Tamil Nadu government will install a statue of Colonel John in the United Kingdom. Also in the district of Theni, his birthday is celebrated along with Pongal on 15th of January. So you can be asked that Mulla Periyar Dam is located along the border of which two states? Answer would be Tamil Nadu and Kerala. Now apart from it, Tonga is a group of over 170 islands which is located in the South Pacific Ocean. So it is located in the continent of Oceania, and recently a volcanic eruption happened in Tonga below the surface of the ocean and triggered tsunami waves around the Pacific. So the United States Geological Survey estimated the eruption caused the equivalent of a magnitude 5.8 earthquake. And also Tonga was in news few days back because after a long time, first case of COVID-19 was observed here. Okay. Question number 8. As of January 2022, what is the minimum number of airbags compulsory for vehicles carrying up to 8 passengers? So driver airbag was made compulsory for all the passenger vehicles since 1st of July 2019. But now dual airbags became mandatory on all the vehicles from January 2022. So Road Transport Ministry recently approved a draft notification to make a minimum of 6 airbags compulsory for vehicles carrying up to 8 passengers. And the aim is to minimize the impact of frontal and lateral collisions. Okay, so answer is 2. Now do remember that British Airways will become the first airline to use the sustainable aviation fuel produced on a commercial scale in the UK after signing the agreement with Phillips 66. So this sustainable aviation fuel is a low carbon intensity fuel that can be produced from renewable feedstocks such as vegetable oil, fat, greases, and it will be supplied to the British Airways to power many of its flights from early 2022. Also, we have seen that Minister of State for Civil Aviation, Mr. V.K. Singh, announced that Airport Authority of India is working on the country's first facial recognition technology-based biometric boarding system, which is a part of the first phase of Digi Yatra scheme. So this scheme basically seeks to promote paperless air travel. Okay. Then do remember that we celebrate International Civil Aviation Day on 7th of December to raise awareness about the role aviation plays in the social and economic development, and the International Civil Aviation Organization, which is a United Nations body, is the nodal agency to manage and ensure cooperation among various air carriers. Headquarters lies in Canada. Question number 9. When is the Army Day observed every year in India? So January 15 has been celebrated as Army Day every year to mark the day when General K.M. Cariappa, who later became the Field Marshal, took over as the first Indian Commander-in-Chief of the Indian Army from General F.R. Roy Butcher. So during the celebration, the new combat uniform for the Indian Army was unveiled, which will be made available to nearly 12 lakh personnel of the Indian Army. So it is an ergonomically designed, operationally effective and new generation combat uniform. Now apart from it, the Oxfam report titled as Inequality Kills has recently been released, and as per the report, the income of 84% of households in the country declined in 2021, but the number of Indian billionaires grew from 102 to 142. So in 2021, the collective wealth of India's 100 richest people rose to 57.3 lakh crore rupees, and in the same year, the share of the bottom 50% of the population in the national wealth was at just 6%. So data is not very relevant. Only thing you have to remember is Inequality Kills report is from Oxfam. Then apart from it, after the Prime Minister Narendra Modi mentioned the Lipulekh construction undertaken by the Border Roads Organization, Nepal's opposition has claimed that the Indian government is undertaking construction activities in areas that Nepal has included in its map. But the Indian embassy said that India's position on its boundary with Nepal is well known, consistent and unambiguous means it is clear. So basically Kala Pani and Lipu Lake are located in Uttarakhand's Pithoragarh district, which are being claimed by Nepal. Okay. Now coming to last question, which state passed law to provide 75% reservation in the private sector to candidates from the state? So the Haryana State Employment of Local Candidates Act 2020 was passed to provide 75% reservation in the private sector to the candidates from the state. And the Haryana State Employment of Local Candidates Act, the 2020, applies to jobs offering a maximum gross monthly salary or wages of 30,000 rupees, and it came into effect on 15th of January 2022. So a dedicated portal and a helpline number were also launched to monitor the implementation of this scheme. Now apart from it, Haryana was also in news because recently the government of Haryana has amended its Excise Act, reducing the age limit to purchase, sell or consume liquor from 25 years to now 21 years. So the Haryana Excise Act of 1914 provides that the lease for manufacturing of any country liquor or intoxicating drug may be granted to any man above 25 years. But now this age limit has been reduced to 21 years. Also recently, the Delhi government has reduced this age limit to 21 years as well. Now, a few days back we have seen that the Madhya Pradesh government has recently passed a bill to recover the property damages from protesters. And the bill also provides for setting up a tribunal which would look into the claims of property damages during riots or public protest. So the State Assembly also passed a resolution that the Panchayat elections will not be held without OBC reservation. Okay. And talking about Madhya Pradesh, it was in news because of Kuno National Park, then because of cow welfare plan, means cow tax plan, and many other things. Okay. Now let's start with today's quiz. Here on the slide you can see 5 questions which have been taken from the past 2-3 days current affairs. Pause the video and try to solve each of these questions, and at the end of the lecture do not forget to share your scores in the comment section. So please be honest and do not cheat with yourself. So that's it for today. I hope you have liked the session. These were the important news and events from today, and we will meet again tomorrow with some more important current affairs. Till then, stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching, and please do not forget to subscribe to GK Today. With this, me Sana signing off.